Hey guys, John DeLemme here, the founder of Conservative Business Journal and the host of the CBJ Real News podcast show. And we got the awesome Inner Circle, one of our top doctors. As you know, Dr. Betsy and Dr. Krista are our key doctors to influence and share with you the truth. So tonight we're going to cover, it's going to be a powerful episode, exposing the 5G, as we say, 5G protection for you, your family, your home, and even your animals. Before I bring Dr. Betsy on, allow me to read her bio, which she rightly deserves to be introduced correctly. And this is a 15th to 16th appearance on the show. She's obviously will be at our June 3rd, June 4th, We the People Fight Back event coming up in Naples, Florida. Dr. Elizabeth Betsy Eads is a practicing physician in Ormond Beach, Florida for 25 years. 25 years. She's board certified in family medicine, board eligible in geriatrics, AMDA certified, and a medical doctor for Kindred Hospice as well as Kindred Home Health. She's an associate medical teaching physician for Florida State College of Medicine Daytona campus. And I want to talk about Daytona. We just had Darlene and her friend picked up 2 VIP tickets for a We the People Fight Back event in June, and they are from Daytona. State College of Medicine at Daytona campus, as well as Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine. She is also an active guardianship evaluator for Volusia in Flagler County, as well as assistant medical director for several SNF rehabs. Dr. Betsy is an active hospital physician at Halifax Health Hospital, as well as Advent Hospital, Daytona Beach. And she is one of our Inner Circle doctors. She's one of our great friends. She's an expert. She's awesome. And tonight we're going to unpack 5G protection. Guys, grab a pen that writes, take some notes, share this episode because we have an incredible PowerPoint and we're going to have incredible slides to go along with everything. So, Dr. Betsy, welcome, young lady.
Hi, John. Thanks for having me tonight. Hi, Christy.
Hi.
So we are looking forward to unpacking 5G protection and how brutal the 5G is. And I know you have your awesome Conservative Business Journal swagwear on tonight, looking awesome. Conservative Business Journal, real news for the American people. That's who we are. And so Betsy, even before we get into the 5G and the protection, and we got a great slide to show what goes on with the body with the 5G, the blood work, and just all the radiation, everything that's happening. Kind of tee everyone up on this before we unleash your awesome PowerPoint, the slide deck.
Well, we are being bombarded with high frequency gigahertz, and we have been since 3G, 4G, and now the rollout of 5G. And the gigahertz go anywhere from 26 gigahertz up to as high as 80 gigahertz, depending on how close the location of these 5G towers are to where you live. Now, I've discovered they've put them on the top of high-rise buildings, apartment buildings, hospitals, where patients are trying to heal. And I have a picture of a tower disguised as a tree on school property, a middle school property. And these towers emit a great deal of EMF radiation frequency. And we now know through years of studies from 1989 on, many brilliant scientists have discovered that not only frequencies, but EMF radiation damages cells, DNA, and red blood cells and cells within the body. And we're going to discuss that tonight.
So let's just, even before we dig into our PowerPoint here tonight, I want to recognize Tommy G and Angie. Tommy G and Angie watching tonight live. And Tommy G will be joining us. Tommy G, along with Lisa, the founders of Trump's Tuesday Therapy Group, you had the pleasure of meeting last week. Dr. Betsy, they'll be joining us in Naples, Florida. They're going to be. I'm so excited to spread their message around the world. Literally, when it goes out everywhere. Hey, and Lisa's on also. I'm
Great
excited.
Patriots.
They're going to be joining us in Naples, Florida. It's because what they're moving is tremendous. So what does EMF stand for, Dr. Betsy?
Electro-magnetic fields.
Interesting, right? Electronic magnetic fields.
It's radiation, and the cell phones emit frequency as well. And frequency can be just as damaging as EMF radiation. And we know all the way back to 1939, when Dr. Joseph Goebbels was doing research for Hitler, he changed the musical and radio frequencies, and he combined two frequencies, one being a very good frequency that promotes harmony and love, which is the 528 hertz, and he combined it with the 741 hertz, and it made a tone that they call the devil's tone, and he used it against prisoners of war and to agitate the enemy. So they've been doing studies on frequencies and how it does mind control and changes the physiology of the body all the way back to the 1930s.
Crazy. Guys, that's why tonight, get ready. So you ready to unleash the go with slide number 1. Guys, this is a show, once again, you're going to want to share. Make sure you guys do follow us on Telegram, Rumble, and Cloud Hub. And our channel is CBJ Real News. Once again, CBJ Real News. Share, like, subscribe, follow. This is literally a life-saving show. And we just added into our conservative marketplace what we're using for 5G protection. You can see it on the conservative marketplace on category 5G protection. So ready for the first slide, Christy? All right. So there we go.
So John, I'm going to, this first slide is a normal, healthy slide of blood with normal, healthy looking red cells. They're beautiful. They're nice and round, and they're consistent, and they have a lot of heme and oxygen in the middle of them. These are normal red blood cells. And the next slide that you're going to see, Christy, you can put that one up. Look at this. This is the same red blood cell. And you can see at 1 o'clock is still one of those red blood cells that hasn't blown up from the 5G radiation. So these cells in the center, John, that look like spikes coming out of them, or shark's tooths all the way around, that's a red blood cell that's been exposed to radiation. And look at what's happened. The cell center of the cell that houses the mitochondria and the DNA has been completely interrupted, and the cell has exploded, and it's created what we call this cell now an exosome. And an exosome is a byproduct of the inside of the cell being damaged by the radiation. And it creates a vacuum hole, a vacuole, and it sucks out the heme, the oxygen out of the cell, and you're left with this spike-looking exosome. This is an exosome. This is not COVID spike protein. It looks like it. And oh, by the way, if you were to take that person after 5G radiation damage and you were to do a PCR test, it would be positive, because the exosome has RNA just like the COVID-19 spike protein has RNA, and it's going to make the test positive.
Guys, that's why you have to see this. All this is just a recipe from the, as we say, the Great Reset.
So let's think about this a second.
Yeah.
Remember in 2019 in Wuhan, as this virus and these spikes were being released, what did they do? They turned on the 5G towers in Wuhan. Then they turned on the 5G towers in Milan, Italy, as people were getting sick. Then they turned on the 5G towers in Brooklyn, New York, and Manhattan. And what happened? People were dropping dead. So
and that was, guys, just to reiterate that was 20.
Yep.
What year was that? Once again, with that, when they activated
that was the fall of 2019 in Wuhan, and then Milan was the December in 2019, and then New York was 2020, January 2020. So people were starting to drop dead. And we assumed it was all virus, but it wasn't all virus. It was also the 5G radiation.
And that's very important for everyone listening. This is a show that is going to expose the real news. This is most even conservative influencers. You definitely won't hear this on some of these big name conservative voices, especially the ones that are jacked up and vaxxed. They're not going to do a show on this, because this is the real news. This is why we are exposing it. That's why we love each and every one of you for being real patriots. Real world changes. People are going to make a difference and change. This is a serious topic, and most of you have 4G and 5G on your smartphone. That's why you want to get a hold of that. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. The little gold strip you put on your phone protects you. It works awesome. We now have it available in conservativemarketplace.com on the 5G protection, but we'll go through that. So let's go to the next slide.
And John, just real quick,
Okay.
So let's wait.
We'll get
Christy, put up slide number 2 again.
Just real quick, Dr. Betsy, just confirm that everything you're saying is backed up by research, like you told us today. So this is not something you just made up.
Yeah, this is an opinion. This is factual based. It's backed up with evidence. There's opinions and there's evidence, and evidence is what people don't want to see.
This is evidence. You can go to Robert Young has published a paper with his group, and then there's another paper, 5G radiation linked to coronavirus infection. Yes, I have 2 papers, and I'll provide those for you so that we can put them below.
Awesome.
All right, so here we go.
So I just want to talk a little bit about what's happening when the spike virus, because this looks like a spike as well. And these PCR tests can't differentiate between a red cell that's been damaged by radiation and a spike cell that's also being tested for. But my point that I want to make is that the exosome, which is the damaged red cell, as well as the spike protein or the COVID spike protein, they both have ACE receptors attached to them. And the reason we see shortness of breath with both damages, both the radiation damage as well as the spike damage, is because the spike attaches to the lungs and it causes inflammation of the lungs, and it doesn't allow the lungs to move oxygen. But the exosome, which is the radiated red cell, it blows up, and the oxygen, the heme, is sucked out of it. So you have less red cells, so you suffocate to death. So the carbon dioxide levels go up with radiation exposure. The pH of the blood goes down, so you get acid blood, and then you actually suffocate. And isn't it weird that those are the same symptoms we're seeing with the spike protein and COVID also? They're both similar. And if they're both exposing together, you can see why so many people went on ventilators, can't you?
And that's also the reason why too. When you look at sickness, as as obviously your partner here as a fellow doctor in our community, Dr. Krista, talks about, when the body becomes acidic, guess what? It's prone for disease. It's just why, because acid it's like putting acid onto a car. It just
Right.
destroys the paint. And when the body becomes, because you said, I'm taking notes, guys. I wrote it down. Acid blood. Wow. We're going to get an article published, and you guys will see now. We have an article that we're releasing tomorrow from Dr. Betsy, which will have this entire replay of the show in it. That's why we didn't publish your article yet, Betsy. We want this show in the article, because when you realize acid blood, everything's blood work. Same as Dr. Christie wrote in her book 8 years ago. I don't care. She says, I don't care if you're skinny, you can be unhealthy. It's your blood. I mean, it's your blood is very acid blood. Wow, right, Christy? That's very, very powerful. I'm proud of you, Dr. Betsy. You're cranking.
So let's go to the next slides. So what's this?
A big
John,
finger.
This is a normal, healthy individual's blood work. And what the heck is that in the blood work? Do you think that should be in there?
No.
No, absolutely not. So at 12 o'clock, you're seeing a normal, healthy red blood cell.
That's
It's
horrible.
beautifully round. It's uniform. It has nice heme and oxygen in the middle. And then you have this structure with all these red cells clumped together on it. At the end, at 3 o'clock, is a blood clot. Those are red cells that are abnormally shaped. They're clumped together and forming a blood clot. That structure in the center is graphene.
Oof.
And graphene can get into your body through various ways. In our water supply, in our food supply, chemtrailed in the air. We all have some graphene inside our body. And what does graphene do in the body? Well, graphene has electromagnetic properties. So the pH of your blood, the temperature, sound waves, UV light, and EMF all react with the graphene. And the graphene, it receives a 26 gigahertz reception inside the body. So each one of these graphene is receiving 26 gigahertz of radiation, but it's putting out in the body when it's reacting to the blood and the light and the pH, it's putting out terahertz of emission of radiation. That's why it's doing such horrible damage and absolutely destroying the red blood cells. It's actually sucking out the heme, the iron, and the oxygen right out of the cells. And people are literally suffocating to death. When they are hit with high amount of EMF, like a DARPA EMF gun, a radiation gun, or what we saw in Australia that was used for crowd control, that's up to 100 megahertz. You can see those people are going to be, their skin's going to be burned, they're going to be burned, and then their cells, the red cells, are going to be destroyed, and they're going to be short of breath. It's a lot of damage.
I mean, that's just amazing, correct? And I tell you, and that's why one of the comments was, how do I get the 5G protection? It's coming up in the slide deck from Dr. Betsy. But what you guys can do is visit conservativemarketplace.com. Or those of you watching in the Rumble link, you'll see the actual click. You can actually click and go right to the 5G protection. Or just go to conservativemarketplace.com, click on category. It's the first one on top, 5G protection. Click on that, opens up, then it says 5G protection for you and your home, and then click here, and then Dr. Betsy will tell you the exact ones to grab a hold of it here in a little bit, but you'll see it all there for you. And it's, guys, this is a serious show, and we got kicked off one Facebook already, right? I believe. Yeah, we got kicked off mine, shut down, shadow banned, censored, but it's awesome. That's why Cloud Hub and Rumble, and obviously our podcast app, and our email list, and the audio version of this. And those of you listening to this through the audio version, obviously you can't see the slide deck. Call or text us at 561-847-3467, or email us at team at conservativebusinessjournal.com, and we will send you the video show, because we'll have tens of thousands of listens, where we're in the top 1% of all podcasts on every podcast platform out of 2.7 million. So that's the audio version. I'm saying that because this is a powerful visual slide deck. We're going to class tonight. This is classroom. We're exposing. This is a topic that has to be addressed. It's one of the most deadliest topics right now going on, and that's why it's acid blood. And good.
So the other point I wanted to make, John, is that's normal blood work. Now let's pivot to those that took the bioweapon COVID shots.
They're gone.
And let's go through a few slides, because there's some upcoming slides that are taken from blood work of people that actually took the jab.
Next slide, Chrissy.
So next slide.
Oh.
So this is another slide showing the irregular red cells
Horrible.
and the contour, how the contour of the cell is destroyed. And if you look at the slide on the right, you see the spikes. They're down around 5 o'clock. So you'll see the spikes, and on the right is COVID spike protein. On the left is a damaged red cell from radiation, and you can see the edge is very similar to the spikes in the spike protein, right? Very similar. How do you tell the difference? You almost can't tell the difference. So Christy, go to the next slide. So this, we're going to pivot back to those that took the vaccine. This is Trypanosomas cruzi. And what's that? Should that be in the blood? No, that's a parasite.
It's horrible.
And this is vaccinated blood. In the background is normal cells, normal white cells and normal red cells. But that's a parasite. That should not be in the vaccine. Next slide, Christy. So this is another picture of someone who took the vaccine. At 9 o'clock is a beautiful red cell. It's beautifully shaped. It's not harmed yet, but it has a little bit of a white area in the middle. And that's the heme and oxygen starting to be destroyed. The one that's next to it with a white ring is starting to be destroyed. And the one to the right of that with the spikes is the actual COVID spike protein. This is a beautiful picture of the spike protein in the blood. You can see the spikes, and you can see it quite well. And it looks almost exactly like a red cell exosome. Remember, exosomes are just normal red cells that have been destroyed by radiation. The spike proteins are in the shot. So next slide.
Wait a minute. I have to interject for a second. I'm going to remove it for a second. All right. I mean, everyone listening to this is why we do what we do. I mean, this is why we're independent. We're not owned by a media company. We own this company. Most people will not address this. Anyone that runs an ad for big pharma or pharma companies, this is real news. And this is a very serious show. There is a war to kill you. It's just a fact. I mean, looking at that blood work, and any of you that have been vaxxed, obviously, you know, we also on conservativemarketplace.com, we have a Vax Regret program. So you're interested in the Vax Regret program, it's called an immune building system. It's on conservativemarketplace.com under health supplements. Dr. Krista recommends it. Excuse me, Dr. Betsy recommends it along with Dr. Krista and obviously Ian. Very serious because this is a show you're going to want to share with people that you love. Look, they already challenge you on your patriot beliefs as it is. Save their lives and share this, and share the link as you're watching this on Telegram, Cloud Hub, Rumble, and my email list. Guys, this is one that needs to get out everywhere because once you screw with someone's blood, it's over. The blood is everything in someone's body, and this is very, very important. So I'm very proud of this. This is some presentation, right, Christy? I'm very serious about this because my first book I wrote 20 years ago, I went after doctors way before we met. You know, right now, any doctor who's taken a vax or any doctor who recommends the vax is part of the warfare. They're the enemy. Mm-hmm. There is no reason for a low strand flu to get this, and it is a war. You want to say something, Christy? You know, so all right, Dr. Betsy, we'll go back to this. It's awesome.
So this slide is just showing clumping of the spike protein, and that's what it does. It promotes clumping and blood clots.
That's horrible.
Next slide.
Blood clots, you said, Dr. Betsy. So what does blood clots do? Let's go back to slide 7 real quick. Well, you can stay there. But blood clots.
So blood clots, they cause clogging up of veins and arteries. They can cause a stroke. They can cause an acute heart attack. And they can go into the brain and cause a stroke like Haley Bieber just had, Justin Bieber's wife.
Yep.
That's been in the news. She's in her 20s. I believe she's 28. and it's very rare for a 28-year-old to have a blood clot in the brain. So it's likely she took the COVID shot. So blood clots can form and cause acute and immediate death. They can cause clots in the lungs and acute death. That's pulmonary emboli or pulmonary infarction. They can cause an acute heart attack or an acute stroke.
That's just a little tip of the iceberg. Go ahead, continue, Dr. Betsy. You're awesome.
And the point I'd like to make, John, is that the blood clots don't just happen to those who took the vaccine. The blood clots can happen to those who are exposed over and over and over to high gigahertz EMF radiation.
Say it again, please, Doctor. Say it again, Dr. Betsy.
The blood clots can happen to those who are exposed over and over to high gigahertz EMF radiation. And the same outcome can happen. And we're going to look at
comes
more
from these
slides.
phones, right?
Yes.
I mean, people live on this. I mean, I just know
Yes.
because I've been running an online business for years, and we have analytics of, we have a very large email list. Make sure you are on an email list. You can do that by visiting conservativebusinessjournal.com and submitting your email. And every day I will go through and see how people open up emails. And we should do a show. I'll show you the graphs over 10 years. It used to be 95% Mac, computer. It would show it. Now today it was 92.8% smartphones.
Right. And
which means
that's
people live with these.
That's 26 to 40 megahertz. And now almost every house has a smart meter coming on. So that's more EMF radiation. And then your Wi-Fi tower that's on 24/7 in your home is more gigahertz. So you're bombarded with, potentially 60, 70, 80 gigahertz daily.
That's right. And once again, sorry.
Yeah.
No, anyone that's watching this show live on Facebook, we're getting kicked off like crazy. I'm one of them. They're so scared of me. They kick me off constantly. So you guys can watch us live right now. We are streaming live on CloudHub, CLOUTHUB, cloudhub.com. Search the channel CBJ Real News and then subscribe, follow the channel. We're live. We're cranking on Cloud and also Rumble. Sometimes I'm censored on Rumble. So on Rumble, you can follow us at CBJ Real News, also CBJ Real News. And right now, for those who are on Telegram, it's shared on Dr. Betsy's channel and my channel on Telegram. On my channel is CBJ Real News. And so I just want to say that because we're getting, those of you that live on Facebook, they're not going to change. So you've got to move over to the other streaming areas to watch us. I mean, when I had A-Rod on last night, he goes, John, I saw you everywhere a year and a half ago. I was everywhere until they realized we're doing a Real News, and bam. So we'll continue, Dr. Betsy. You're awesome. Next slide.
So I think the importance of talking about 5G radiation is not just that it's doing a hell of a lot of damage to your physiology and your blood work, but there's a ton of people that are being exposed to 5G that also took the COVID bioweapons, and they have to understand that they are in such high risk for blood clots and immune suppression and a lot of side effects, because they're getting both bombarded with the EMF and the EMF is reacting to the graphene oxide, which changes into graphene hydroxide, which is just horribly toxic to the body. So this lecture is important for two reasons. Everybody in America needs to protect themselves against 5G high gigahertz radiation, but they also need to know that if they've received 1, 2, or 3 jabs, they have to be even more diligent to not have any 5G radiation coming into their homes. So we're going to look at a few more slides, and you're going to really get the gist of what is in these shots that is causing the damage.
And I want to give a huge shout out to Chris Morgan from the UK. Is on live. Chris is one of our original supporters. He's on live in the UK, and I appreciate that. He's on Rumble right now. Chris, you are awesome. It is, I believe it is probably 3, 4 in the morning for Chris. He runs one of the top security companies over in the UK. And Chris, you are awesome. I appreciate you supporting us for well over 2.5 years now. He's one of our top supporters, Chris. You're awesome, my man. Chris Morgan, live from the UK on. All right, so here we go, Dr. Betsy.
So this slide is showing
More crap.
it's showing on the left is showing it's a low magnification of some graphene. On the right is more crystallization and blood clot. Go on to the next slide, Christy. So this is a powerful slide. This is dark field electron microscopy. It's magnified a lot. And in the background, they use a dark field. So what are you seeing on this slide? You're seeing some, in the background, some crystals, and that happens. This is actually vaccine. This is vaccine
Oof.
on a slide.
Ugh.
And John, is that white stuff in the middle supposed to be there?
Wow, it's crap.
What, doesn't that look metallic to you?
It's horrible.
So if you look down around 6 o'clock, you see a white square metallic looking structure that's nice and square. But what is happening here is this is graphene. And this is graphene being exposed to EMF radiation. And what happens to graphene when it's exposed to EMF radiation is it reduces into these square, sharp-edged graphene hydroxide pieces. So Andres Nowak, who was killed for uncovering graphene hydroxide, which is razor blades cutting through tissue and blood vessels, he was killed for this.
Wait. Time out there, crazy one. Please expand upon that, Dr. Betsy. Upon who was he? I know who he is, and he was killed. But please, for our listeners and followers and subscribers,
Andres Novak was a German scientist who discovered graphene hydroxide, which looks like razor blades in the vaccine. And he actually went on TV. And he showed these pictures, slides, and video, and he ended up dead a few days later, which is a very, allegedly a very sketchy death. So graphene has definitely been found in the vaccine, and it reduces to graphene hydroxide, which are razor blades. So that was a good picture of graphene. Go to the next slide, Christy. So this, John, I want you to think back to Karen Kingston's show, the 2.5-hour show, where she brought out the patents, and she told you that there was some kind of operating system in the vaccines, and that the graphene particles under the pressure of heat and light were unfolding into a lattice-like structure to form AI. Well, this is what she was talking about. Oh. This is one of the best pictures I've seen of the lattice-like structure building and unfolding in the blood. So you see the graphene squares, the graphene hydroxide at 6 o'clock, and then you see the lattice structure, which is the graphene forming with the nano into an AI operating system. This is what they're tracking people with. This is in the vaccine. It should not be in the vaccine. I've never seen this in a vaccine in my entire 25-year career. Have I seen anything like this in a vaccine?
Let me tell you something. Politicians suck. I remember this for a second. Any congressperson that's vaxxed or anybody that's an influence in the conservative world, I've lost even more respect for them after this. Right, Christy? Yeah. Seriously, if you put this crap in your body just because of job or position, to Gideon season board on all the Christians that break my chops in that, just go right ahead, unfollow me. Don't care. This is insane. God will give you a job. Don't get the jab.
So next slide.
This is brutal. And once again, those of you that want to listen, I've had Karen Kingston twice on my show. You can You can listen to all of Dr. Betsy's 14 previous episodes and many more to come, and Kingston's last 2 episodes. Just visit conservativebusinessjournal.com, click on podcast, and then it says library of episodes, like a library. You go in a library of episodes, and it's in alphabetical order. Go into Kingston, and you'll see 2 shows with Karen. One is 2.5 hours long from a few months ago, and that was all when she exposed all the patents and so forth. Then you'll see Betsy. You go on to E for Eads, EADS. You see all Betsy shows. Also on my phone, my 5G protected phone. You go on our app, Google Play Store or Apple, and download our podcast is on the Conservative Business Journal is the app. Conservative Business Journal. Subscribe. It's free. It has a search feature, which is tremendous. Put in Eads, you'll see, bam, it's like half the phone fills up. It's all of Dr. Betsy's episodes. And you can put in Kingston. Karen's 2 comes up. Actually 3, because Karen spoke at the last event. And you share those. This is how we get the real news out. That's why we're independent. I ain't born. As I was listening to you go through this, anybody who chose to put that in their body and they got a second or third shot, you're part of the freaking enemy. There were influencers who got double jabbed. I didn't go to a recent event because I can't look at him in the face because he's a ripoff artist. If you got double vax and you're supposed to be a conservative influencer, you're a liar. I mean, you are a liar. All right, let me stop my rant. Because I'll go crazy forever. Because this is dangerous. This is deadly. It's not like it's, you cut your finger and it repairs. I mean, my dad just texted him. My dad's been on since 9:30. He called Dr. Chrisley right away and said, "Should I take this?" She says, "Don't take the crap." That was, my dad's 93. My mom's 90. I mean, 90, whatever, 92. She's out of her mind. My mother hung up on me yesterday. Who turns this off? She was tired of talking to me yesterday. She hung up on me. I have to go to counseling because of my mother. All right. Next slide, Dr. Betsy. You're awesome, right? Cranking tonight. Oh, looks like a Christmas tree. Looks like one of us something on front yard.
Is there one after that, Christy? Okay. So this is
Fifth Avenue, New York.
This is dark field electron microscopy. So what they did was they put a dark light underneath. So it actually shows the outline of the graphene from a different perspective. So this graphene has progressed into forming operating systems. And that's what the boxes are. They're forming an operating system. And in the center of that, you can see a little bit of blood clot, because we know when graphene is exposed to EMF, you get some blood clots that the graphene causes. So these are actually forming an operating system. And this is a precursor to being able to track with a Bluetooth cell phone. So tracking your temperature, your heart rate, your what we call vital signs. They can track your location as well. These are actually operating systems. This is what's in the bioweapon shots. These are actual blood slides that I'm showing you at the beginning of the episode. And this particular slide is actual vaccine.
It's horrible.
Next slide, Christy. So, John, should this be in the vaccine?
Looks absolutely disgusting. I've hit mute a bunch of times while you're going because I am so wound up. This is such.
What does this look like? This looks like a parasite.
Looks like a snake.
This is Hydra
parasite.
vulgaris.
It's gross. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting. This is Hydra vulgaris. And so in the vaccines, the bioweapon shots, as I call them, are eggs. And when the eggs get close to graphene and heat, they hatch this. This is Hydra vulgaris. And the composition of Hydra vulgaris is going to terrify you. It's made up of MERS, SARS, HIV sequence 1 through 3, and it's spliced in with SRV1, which is AIDS. And it was designed in the Kiev 2000 studies. Where's Kiev? Ukraine.
Ukraine.
It was designed in the Ukraine labs, and it was chimerically or gain of function spliced, or CRISPR technology to splice in those things to get into the body and cause a complete immune system shutdown. So this should not be in your body. And if you're thinking about getting the booster, this should make you throw up and not want to take the booster.
This is a must. This is a must share, must listen show. And I'm going to continually promote throughout the whole show. Those of you who don't like it, then once again, we're about changing people's lives, because most of you, it's even funny on Rumble. We have many people watching on Rumble, but the Rumbles are low because some of you are even afraid to share it because you're afraid about you being censored. So are you really a patriot? Because
Yeah, and read what Chris wrote on Rumble. I mean, we're already censored on Facebook.
Chris, when Chris wrote on Rumble, he says, I got the jab because I thought it would protect my wife with no immune system. I got the C word, CANCER, after the jab, and my wife is safe and she's not taking the poison. And I mean, and that's what, and Chris said, well, SHIT happens. Christy can't say it wasn't a jab. It most likely was the jab. And we say that respectfully, but that's, that's for you, Chris. That's why you're tied into what we do. I mean, that's a comment on a Rumble rant right now in Rumble.
I can say with high probability, after looking at the military database, the percentage of cancers are up 200% in their database. Cancers across the board in America, according to Ryan Cole, who's a very famous pathologist, are up over 2,000%. And we know that these jabs cause dysregulation of the red cells, the T cells, which are made up of CD8 and CD4 cells, which dysregulate cancer, allow cancer to flourish and grow. And we're seeing very unusual type of cancer. So I can say with high probability, if you got the real lethal shot contents, it's probably the cause of your cancer.
I mean, it's just, guys, and that's why we do what we do is to protect people from getting it. So Chris, Chris is awesome. Chris in UK is one of my original supporters. He used to work Troll Alert with me, right? We used to have 30, 40, 50,000 people on my shows live. Now we get those amount of listeners during a replay on my audio podcast, and my email list is huge, but obviously that's why it's very important. Cloud Hub, Telegram, Rumble, channel is CBJ Real News. And once again, guys, definitely shop around. We now do offer 5G protection. We're getting here in a little bit. We made it live on conservativemarketplace.com. It's actually the first category, 5G protection. Go to conservativemarketplace.com. With those of you watching on Rumble or Cloud Hub, it's actually in a description link. You'll see the link, and I highly suggest to grab a hold of the items in there, which we're going through here in a little bit. But this is just brutal. I mean, this is just why we do what we do. Thank you, Jenny. And Jenny says, thank you all for speaking the truth. I pray people wake up. Pretty awesome. Thank you, Kevin. Oh, Kevin's on. Author Kevin White. Kevin, you're awesome, my man. Kevin says, great info. And Neva says, tapeworm. That's what looks like a tapeworm. And then Kathy Guerrero says, Dr. Betsy's horrible. She doesn't know her stuff. No, she said, Dr. Betsy rocks. She knows her stuff.
That's Dr. Kathy.
That's awesome. That's excellent. All right. So back to the slides. Here we go.
So next slide. Okay. So these are a picture of normal looking red cells. They're nice and circular, and the center is nice and consistent and uniform. But what are those white boxes attached to the red cell? That's graphene oxide. And as I told you, this is a jabbed person. So you see that not only are there graphene oxide, which is attaching to the red cell, and it's going to now attract not just EMF frequency and light and heat and destroy that red cell, but there is debris in the center, and those are eggs.
Oh.
So those are the eggs that underheat and in the proximity of graphene. They have to be in the proximity of graphene and in the proximity of body heat. And if you recall, John, they had to ship these vaccines cold. Why did they have to ship them cold? Because they all had eggs in them, and they had to be cold so the eggs didn't hatch until they were inside the body, inside the bloodstream. So the graphene is integral along with body heat for these parasite eggs to hatch.
God, that is just that. What you just said right there was unbelievable. They shipped it cold because there was eggs in it. Can you recap that? Because I want to pull, because Evan, our team leader for video and audio, I want Evan to pull this clip so we could expose it. So, Dr. Betsy, please share with everyone why they shipped the vaccination. Why it was shipped cold? What was in the vaccination?
There's 2 reasons why they ship it cold. The mRNA lipid nano envelope is very, very fragile and frail, and it could be destroyed if it's not shipped cold. But the second reason is there's parasite eggs that have to stay frozen and stable. Just like you would take an egg from a female who was going to get it fertilized to get pregnant, and they freeze the eggs and hold them until they're ready to fertilize that egg and implant it for pregnancy. So
they knew there was parasite eggs in the vaccine.
Oh, absolutely, they knew.
That makes sense.
This is unequivocal evidence that there are eggs, and the slides I showed you before are 2 different types of parasites. That should terrify you. I mean, that would deter me just by itself from getting a shot. You're going to shoot me up with a parasite?
It's horrible.
And what do parasites do? They suck the nutrients and ingredients and oxygen out of your blood and your digestive tract. They cause anemias. They cause autoimmune disorders. And we know parasites can cause cancer, and they probably are the leading cause of cancer.
Back to the slides.
So is there another slide, Christy? So this is a picture I took on the school grounds of the middle school in my town. They just completed this tower. This is a 5G cell tower disguised as a tree. And I'm horrified because it's on the campus of a middle school. And what do all the kids have with them when they are going to school? They have a cell phone and they have a tablet, because they all are given tablets to learn from. So that's 26 gigahertz, and now they're getting megahertz from this tower of exposure during the whole school day. So what we're going to talk about now is we're going to talk about how you can protect yourself and block the 4G, the 5G, and the radiation.
And guys, pay real close attention. Pay real close attention to this. This is why we do what we do. And these items and products that we're going to share right now, Christy and I and Dr. Betsy and I did a lot of researches. Once again, there's a lot of crap influencers and podcast hosts. There's definitely a lot of crap doctors. There's 99% of doctors suck, just like 99% of conservative hosts suck. It's just the truth. I mean, it's just a fact. And we did a lot of research, and these specific products that we now offer on conservativemarketplace.com for 5G protection are the best of the best for great value, tremendous. They ship on time. It's great products. So let's move on to that.
So the first slide is a disc, which is a cell phone EMF blocker disc. It comes like a sticker. It's easy to peel off. You want to put it on the back of the phone near the battery, and then put the case on it. You can remove it later and transfer it to a new cell phone. But what these do is they block the transmission of the 5G or the 4G from the phone that is going into your body, so into your head, into your breast, because girls are putting that in the bra, which I don't recommend, into your backside if you're wearing it in the back pocket, or into your testicles
which
if
everybody.
you're wearing it in your front pocket. So
Yeah,
it blocks the transmission into the body.
And I like what you said, Dr. Betsy. You said take the phone, take the case off, and put it next to the battery on the back, and put the case back on.
Yes, it has to be on the back of the phone near the battery.
And once again, guys, you'll see that there when you go to conservativemarketplace.com, 5G protection. You click on that, and it takes you out to the specific site that we have a strategic alliance with, and then you scroll down. It says cell phone EMF protection disc.
Now, I highly recommend for parents, mom and dad, you should have these on all of your child's devices. They should be on the tablet. We're going to go to the computer protector next, but they should be on all of your children's cell phones. And then if you look at the second picture, it's actually a strip. And I'm going to hold this up. Can you pan back to me a second?
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to hold this. I'm going to hold this up.
There you go.
So they come in strips, and they're also easy to place on your tablet or your computer. Maybe go back to the picture, John. And what this does is a computer or laptop will put out a little bit more megahertz. So you can use multiple strips on your computer. And the strips in my home, I also use the strips on my Wi-Fi router coming into the house. In addition, I want to let everybody know at night, you should be turning off the Wi-Fi on your cell phone and the Wi-Fi on your laptop and the Wi-Fi tower while you sleep. And very important to get that Wi-Fi turned off, because some of the symptoms of radiation poisoning are very similar to some of the COVID symptoms that we saw this year when the 5G towers went on. Headache, ringing in the ears, migraine, nausea, body aches, fatigue. Those are very similar to some of the COVID symptoms we heard about. But that happened after the 5G towers went on. So let's go back to the pictures a second. To the right is a wristband. I am very pro blocking EMF as it hits my body. So this wristband I love, because you can wear this all day and be protected from EMF radiation as you're moving through work. You know, I work in a hospital, so there are computer terminals for doctors and nurses everywhere. So I like this as opposed to wearing a necklace. The necklace bothers me, but this is very easy to wear. And it blocks 5G radiation all day long. So these are great products. So you can also use the discs, the strips, anything on your smart meters coming into your home if you have a smart meter.
Yeah, and I tell you what's good too is on the energy and wellness wristband, like you said, because the pendants are selling like crazy, and some of them are not as high quality as the one we chose to offer to all of you. And you guys, once again, you guys can visit conservativemarketplace.com and you will see 5G protection. And what's awesome is the wellness bands are just a tremendous. I mean, they actually look good, and they protect you. And there's actually 4.9 out of 5, 4.9 reviews. There's 42 reviews speaking about it, and you will see that when you go to conservativemarketplace.com. 5G protection, and then it takes you out to a strategic alliance that we align with a company, and you'll see it's just so important, because even as you're saying that, I'm sitting there thinking about people laying in bed, 5G in their house going, Wi-Fi going in our house, this thing rocking. Most of them have it next to their bed on 5G, and most of them eat like crap too. And we'll talk a little bit because we're going to do a whole show with you and Dr. Krista about how the food, how now this is going to definitely challenge many of you. So watch this show. Probably going to be next Thursday, I think.
Wait till we get into what foods interact with 5G and what they do to the blood work too.
I think that's going to be. It'll probably be a week from tonight. I'll talk to Krista to confirm. Be next Thursday night because we'll have next Wednesday. I have
Jared. He's the one that called into Biden and said, "Let's go, Brandon, on Christmas." He made him say, "Let's go, Brandon." So
he's my hero.
Yeah, he's going to be on the show live next Wednesday, either 8:30 or 9:30 Eastern. He's a good guy. He's at the Northwest. We talked last night. But when you look at this, we're going to talk about how just the recipe right now with the food prices going up, people eating like crap, and that's all in your blood work. Guys, it is a recipe for disaster, and that's all they want to do. So these are simple, proven, and time-tested massive solutions to horrific problems. I mean, for those of you who want protection for your family, for your children, from what is proven to be horrific, the EMF field, electronic magnetic field, which is radiation, it's real simple. The wristbands, the strips, the shields, get them all. Give them as gifts, send them to your family members. And the great value, it's a great price point, a great company. They ship on time and everybody wins. And we appreciate that. If it wasn't so effective, why did Facebook shut me down going live again tonight? Right? I mean, it's just a fact.
So around the world, we have people now waking up to the dangers of 5G, and they're tearing down towers, they're burning down towers, and people are now fighting at their local city regarding not allowing 5G to go on top of schools, to go on top of hospitals, to go in neighborhoods with children. So, I encourage people to get out there to those zoning meetings and to stop the placement of 5G in our hospitals, our schools, or in our residential areas where there's children that are growing and developing. We should not be using 5G because they're only looking to get bandwidth. They don't really need that much gigahertz. It's a bandwidth issue, and
Right.
and there's a concerted effort to harm people here by nefarious people. So I think we need to fight. We need to stand up and fight against these 5G towers going up. And if you live in a city with a 5G tower on top of your apartment building, get the heck out of the city. Get away from all that radiation. We need to get back to clean living. We need to clean up our water. We need to get rid of glyphosate and graphene and aluminum and fluoride in our air and our water, and everything that can interact with 5G and those horrible frequencies. You
said something called glyphosate, right? How do you pronounce it?
Glyphosate. Glyphosate's a poison. It's in fertilizer. It's in all of the vegetables and produce that we eat. Glyphosate.
Yeah, and that's why
it's Monsanto's, and they're in a big lawsuit right now for cancer.
And one of the products we have on Control the Marketplace, once again, we researched on the health supplements, is the Biomedic product, which you take one in the morning, one at night, and that product is proven. There's clinical trials on that. As you know, we've had Ian Ferrari on numerous times, our superfood entrepreneur and expert. That is for those of you, that's all of you should be taking that product. That's a tremendous product one. It's
absolutely, because if you're getting glyphosate in your produce and that's going in the body and it's reacting with EMF, if you just block the EMF, but you got to get rid of the glyphosate as well. So cleaning up the air, the water, what you eat, getting away from the big cities, trying to cut down on your radiation exposure, and maybe we just need to get away from using so much Wi-Fi and cell phones. I hope the new generation of cell phones coming out are free of the megahertz.
And that's what they did too. I mean, that's what they did with the lockdowns too. They locked people down, keep them in their homes. It was during the wintertime, the windows are closed, and this stuff is just jacking the body up. The news is programming your mind. They're raising the prices of food, having you eat crap, fill your body with crap, get the radiation crap. Mm-hmm. They're out for population globalist control. But where we are the enemy, we are the David against Goliath. I mean, but this is why you guys are listening and sharing this episode. This is such an important episode.
It is. It's a coordinated effort to actually kill us, whether it's from the bioweapon shot or the 5G radiation or the benzene and the glyphosate and the poisons in our food. This is a diabolical effort to kill us, and we need to wake up, and we need to band together in our communities and start cleaning up our air, our water, our soil, and stop this 5G radiation in our cities. And we can do it. Get out to your meetings, your zoning meeting, your council meetings. Get out there and fight it.
It's amazing what Chris is saying too. He said his memory's gone to SHIT lately, right? Chris has commented. For those of you on Rumble, you'll see Chris is on the Morgan Security Systems out of the UK. He's a great guy, been around us for years. One of our top supporters. He's sowed financially very strong, Dr. Betsy, into Martha Avili, into Heartbeat of Miami. He actually won the Trump bobblehead, right? We did when we used to do the giveaways in the shows live. We actually shipped over a Trump bobblehead to the UK. He's like you. He's a winner. He was always winning in all of it. And he said his memory's gone. He said his short-term memory shot. And he said, and it was 1 year ago. Our anniversary, Christy and I's anniversary, was April 9th. He said he got the shot April 9th of 2021. But that's why your body's repairing, your body's getting stronger. Just take just take as much weapon against, just get your body strong as possible. And we're gonna have a great show with Dr. Betsy and Dr. Kristen next week about the combination of this show along with what the foods do, because when you have all that dead crap food in there. Go ahead, Betsy.
The last thing I want to talk about is musical frequency that's harmful to the body. I brought it up in the beginning of the show. And some of the music that is being played out there is being played with very damaging notes called the devil's tone. It's a combination of 741 with 528. And you hear it in certain rap music, like Travis Scott's music. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is musical frequency can be damaging to the physiology as well. And we're seeing that in some of our children. We're seeing that in some of our millennials. They're very aggressive, some of the aggressive behavior. So some of the music can cause damage to the body itself and the mind and agitation. And so we need to start getting away from some of that negative musical frequency and back to healing frequency. So I don't know if, Christy, you put the Salfuego scale in, but I can certainly read what are some of the healing frequency and music that we should be listening to.
You can read it.
Yeah, you can read it. It's called Stop Listening to Crap Music. I could sum it up.
Exactly. So
rap music that's about cop killing, shooting, sex.
So it's called the Salfuego frequencies. I'm just going to read a couple really positive frequencies. 174 hertz removes pain. 285 hertz influences energy fields, so positive energy fields to repel negative energy. 396 hertz liberates you from fear. 417 hertz facilitates change. Positive changes. The 528 hertz, which is the love tone in music, it repairs DNA. So there are some really good frequencies that you should be looking for and listening to in your homes. The 639 hertz heals relationships. The 741 awakens intuition. It opens up your pineal gland and it just awakens your discernment, your critical thinking. 852 hertz attracts your soul. And the 963 hertz connects with light and spirit. So there is good musical frequencies that help heal your body, and there are bad musical frequencies that tear down your body and cause aggression.
And it's also words in music too. The guys that know around me for years and all my books, I have a whole book about affirmations.
That is true.
I mean, I have a book that's 4,246 words here. I actually say these every day. 365 affirmations. You say these words out loud. You know, and the outward expression of words have a response. I mean, your body and your mind responds to words. That's why we all have accents, because we listen and we learn. And that's why we've been preparing for this for so long. And that's why, guys, look, coming up in June, and I want to show this now. And I want to recognize Darlene and her friend from Daytona you spoke to today, right, Christy? They secured the VIP tickets, June 3rd, June 4th, 2022. We the People Fight Back. What we're known for, our events are rock solid. One of the featured speakers, obviously, Dr. Betsy Eads. We're very proud to present We the People Fight Back event in Naples, Florida, June 3rd, June 4th. We the People Fight Back event.com. Our events we oversold last time. We will not do it this time. 200 limit. Everyone's a VIP. There's no 30 minutes for VIP and other people running Denny's and Shoney's crop. And it's all, we don't chase people to attend our events. And I don't put people on a platform to sell tickets. I create an environment and an atmosphere of people that were all winners. If you want to get on my nerves, use the name Big Name Speaker, right, Dr. Betsy?
That is right.
Because the biggest name speaker at this event is Darlene and her friend who secured a ticket today. So guys, make sure you're here. Secure the ticket. We the People Fight Back event.com. Use promo code CBJ like Darlene did. And they received $100 off their ultra all-inclusive VIP ticket. And off food alone, it was absolutely tremendous. And actually, what I want to do right now is I actually want to show a great video from Rebecca Friedrichs. Who you saw Rebecca live on our show last week. She's been live on my show 4 times. She's coming in from California for the event. And this is actually Rebecca's review of the event. She was the last one to leave after the VIP dinner. You haven't seen this review, Dr. Betsy. And you'll see there's nobody behind it because everyone's gone. And Rebecca was like, this is the best event. And she gave such a great review. And she's coming in again from California. She's the nation's leading expert. And I'm excited because you're going to be the first to hear this. We're going to be putting Christine DiVigili and Denise on the platform speaking at our event because Christine and Denise, they were inspired by Rebecca back in August to run for school board. And that changes the country. So they're going to be out of their minds because they're going to be speaking alongside of Rebecca. How awesome is that going to be? I mean, that's why we do what we do. That's why the big name speaker crap drives me crazy. These are real people, Christine and Denise. They're out there, moms out there fighting.
There are mama bears, our Florida mama bears.
Here's Rebecca. This is a great review.
Conservative Business Journal's We the People Fight Back event is one of the best events I've attended all year. Well, in the last decade. What did I love about it as a speaker? Well, Christy and John Delamy are the most incredible hosts. Never stressed. They answered my questions immediately. They were so just kind, and they spoiled me as a speaker. I enjoyed it so very much. The other thing I enjoyed about a speaker was a receptive audience. They were amazing. People who really are patriots and who really believe in fighting for America. I was so thankful for them. As an attendee, I enjoyed this event because I was around a whole room full of people who have who think deeply, who have open minds, who love America, and who are fighting for her. And so I just really enjoyed being together with like-minded people who love this country and want to save her.
How awesome is that, Betsy?
She's just outstanding. I mean,
she's awesome,
what
Rebecca.
she did to go after the unions.
And she texted
it takes a lot of guts.
She actually texted us today, and this is exactly what she said. She said, "This is live, and this came in earlier today as I'm grabbing my 5G phone here. Actually, I'm not on 5G yet." She said, "Hello, John and Christy. Do you guys know the exact times for your June 3rd and June 4th event? I have a friend in Florida who's going to be coming. Do you know the location? Do you have the details? I can share with her yet? Thanks so much." And we shared it with her, and she says, I said to her, I said, we appreciate you. And she goes, I appreciate you so much. So she has her friends coming to the event. Rebecca Friedrichs, guys. WeThePeopleFightBackEvent.com. This is going to be an epic event. So make sure you're here. And obviously, Dr. Betsy's there the entire time. She doesn't come in for 5 or 10 minutes. You got to get on my nerves. Just do that with people. It's unethical and it's wrong. And look, and people can disagree with me. That's fine. But I believe it's about the people in that room changing people's lives. So we're excited. Dr. Betsy, you're awesome. How about tonight's show, right? I mean, it really is. I mean, this 5G protection. I want to go back to one slide real quick. Can you put the slide back? Is it? Oh, it's still on here. I want to show that. I just want you to go. I want people to realize that's eggs in your body and parasite crap. How horrible is that? That's horrible. And that gets activated with 5G. Make sure, guys. And we can't recognize the names. It's not showing us names, but we had many people went on right now and purchased those. I'm so proud because, we're giving you guys the tools and resources for the protection. So it is so important. Guys, this right here, the cell phone EMF protection disc, the computer EMF protection strips, energy and wellness wristband. Then it's pretty awesome is they also have they also have available when you go to conservativemarketplace.com, click on 5G protection. They have the work at home kit, which is phenomenal. That's a great value because it includes 3. I believe it includes 4 computer tablet strips and includes a cell phone protection disc. So that's a tremendous value. So it's awesome. Dr. Betsy, phenomenal. Any final closing words you want to share with our audience tonight and so forth?
Well, what I'd like to say is in doing the research for this, I learned a lot myself. I'm a physician, and in medical school, they don't really teach us nutrition and health like they should be teaching us. So in doing the research for this and believe it or not, learning from Dr. Krista, I learned a lot from Dr. Krista. Putting it all together, I think we need to have a come to Jesus meeting, each and every one of us, with
Good.
what we're doing in terms of our health and
Right.
and how we live. We need to get back to clean living. We need to get back to clean water, clean air, clean food. We have to really get back to good food and healthy eating, and really get our immune system, which then helps our DNA and our RNA repair, which is really going to give us the longevity and the health we need. The Rockefellers ruined medicine for health and healing. Medicine is no longer about health and healing. So what I learned in bringing this research together and talking to Dr. Krista and reading her book is that nutrition is going to play a huge role in this, and how you eat and what you eat and how you build your immune system up. And that is what we need to focus on moving forward. And then we won't see so much disease and so much mortality and shortened lives. So that's what I wanted to focus on tonight.
It's phenomenal. That's why, as we talked earlier today, and once again, Dr. Chris's book is available on the conservativemarketplace.com under books. And I say this because we have the tools and resources to protect you, because we're in a war. This is not light. This is a war. And, I posted something today on my Telegram profile. It says, hi, my name is John D. Rockefeller. He says, I helped start the pharmaceutical industry. I worked to outlaw hemp, hijack the educational system, co-founded the Federal Reserve with J.P. Morgan and the Rothschilds family, funded the United Nations, and helped found the Council of Foreign Relations. You were taught I'm a hero entrepreneur, but I was actually one of the biggest enemies of the American people. And we're going after Johnny Rockefeller right now. That's why we're doing what we're doing. Guys, once again, make sure you follow myself on Telegram. And Betsy, your Telegram channel is, please?
Dr._Betsy. I post the most recent articles and videos. I will respond to questions in the chat. And there are some great articles up there right now. And John, what you just read beautifully sums up how the Rockefellers have single-handedly destroyed our country from a monetarily standpoint to a pharmaceutical and a medicine and big pharma standpoint. Beautifully summarized.
And you guys can see, I literally just grabbed the world famous smartphone, and it's on my Telegram profile. My Telegram is CBJ Real News is our channel. CBJ Real News. It's the same across the board for Rumble, Cloud Hub, and also for obviously Telegram. Then this episode will be available, and you guys can always go to conservativebusinessjournal.com and you go to the search feature and put in Dr. Betsy, you put her last name Eads, EADS, and all the articles that she's written for us and many more to come. Now, many of you could be most likely listening to this episode as part of the article we're going to publish in the next 24 to 48 hours, right, Christy? The next Thursday night, I'll confirm with Dr. Krista tomorrow, but next Thursday will be a double header featuring Dr. Betsy and Dr. Krista, taking this to yet the next level. So we appreciate you guys being supporters, followers, subscribers, and we are definitely the tip of the spear in the conservative movement. There's no question about that. We don't back down. And our event, the We the People Fight Back event, epic. You know, we got Pastor Greg Locke coming in, Rebecca Friedrichs, Vince Everett Ellison, Vicki O'Brien, the Hollywood actress exposing. She did a great
Awesome.
great breakdown about Alec Baldwin, about the whole thing about the gun and everything. So June 3rd, June 4th, Naples, Florida, be with us. And those of you that have your tickets already, make sure you get a hold of us and activate them, secure your ticket. Our event's just 200 people. It's not about numbers. I've never started. We started from the beginning. When the first event was last April, 200, because 200 is a good learning room environment. You get a 28-page training program, a pen, you learn, it's structured. Everyone gets a VIP lunch, a VIP dinner, so we can learn. Then we go back to our local markets, and then we can combat the enemy. So it's absolutely tremendous. Any final points, Christy?
No.
And all the episodes, once again, the podcast, you guys can go to conservativebusinessjournal.com, click on podcast, library of episodes, search feature, also on the app. And I want to thank you guys on all the app platforms, and you can also get the app for free. You'll see that when you go to conservativebusinessjournal.com. It says get the app free right in your smartphone, subscribe. And this is how we see big problem, big opportunity. There's no question. I believe we will win because I have faith. I believe we will win. I have the David mindset against Goliath, right, Dr. Betsy? I believe you are a David. Yes. Well, you're a woman, but you're David. Yeah, so you're transgender tonight, Dr. Betsy. And Dr. Chris is a David. No.
I'm a woman. I know
right.
the definition of woman.
No, wait a minute. I'm not a biologist. How about the other article we published in the Conservative Business Journal, which is going wild about teaching them in Portland how to tuck penises? That's real. I mean, that's published. Now, look, 99% of conservative outlets will not share that. I mean, it's wild, right? All right. Children in hospital teaches children to tuck their penises and take puberty blockers. That's
Just one question, John.
good. That's Conservative Business Journal News. That's what we do. That's on our website, on one of our articles we published with our great writers.
Dr. Betsy, just to comment on some of the stickers and things like that for your computer, your phone. Someone sent me a private message and said that's really expensive for a sticker.
Well,
it's not rude. They were just saying it's really expensive
that's
for a sticker.
Phenomenal value.
So can you explain actually what that does? And it's not just like a sticker you can buy at a dollar store.
No, it's specially manufactured with different metals and copper. It actually repels the radiation, the EMF radiation, and it's not a typical sticker. It actually can peel off and be moved from device to device. So it's not something that deteriorates. It lasts forever.
Yeah, and it's not a dollar store shield. It's like,
because it's hard to tell on the side.
Yeah, and guys, once again, we research. We just moved this live today. We literally, I researched the quality. Say it again, Betsy, Dr. Betsy, please.
They're high quality, high manufacturing, high quality. They last forever. I've had my cell phone blockers for 4 or 5 years. They last forever. When I get a new phone, I just transfer it to the new phone.
That's good. Yeah.
It's excellent. And guys, once again, conservativemarketplace.com, 5G protection. We just made it live today. We did a research to have a strategic alliance with a great company. And I'm very excited. Many of you I see tonight, many of you guys made the decision, and share it. Share this episode and subscribe once again for all of our channels. And I appreciate your supporters and sponsors. And with that said, guys, share, like, subscribe, follow. Dr. Betsy, epic episode, phenomenal information, life-changing slide deck absolutely tremendous. And this is part one. We'll have part two next week featuring Dr. Krista and Dr. Betsy. Once again, June 3rd, June 4th, epic We the People Fight Back event's going to be just phenomenal. Good night, guys. God bless you. We love you guys, and thank you for your support. Whatever we can do, we're always here for you. Call or text us, 561-847-3467, or email team, TEAM team at conservativebusinessjournal.com. Good night. God bless you.
God
Thanks
bless.
for all the rumble. Thanks. And thanks, Chris, for being live in the UK. Chris is awesome. Good night, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dr.
John
Betsy.
and Christy.
Thank you.
Bye.